I am so excited for today's video. We're playing Pyromancer Ascension in Modern. We're copying Lightning Bolt and Fire and Ice to win the game. You're going to want to see this deck list. This is the deck list that we're playing today, and while it has a lot of inspiration from a donation deck that I recorded almost a year ago, you can find that video on the card above, and today we're adopting it. We're no longer playing Dragon's Rage Channeler as the only creature in the deck. It was just a Lightning Bolt for removal, pun intended, Lightning Bolt being one of the best removal spells in Modern, and well, we're also playing it, but just it died too much. It wasn't worth the slot. I also didn't really like the Wish package, so instead we're playing a couple copies of Izzet Charm today, a card that I've really enjoyed in Lotus Breach because it kills Dauthi Voidwalker, it fills up your graveyard, all that good stuff. It also just counters the One Ring, for example, a card that's a little bit annoying to beat. So Izzet Charm has a lot of functionality. It's the only two of in today's deck list that isn't a land. So when you're playing Pyromancer Ascension, well, what does this card do? So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it checks your graveyard for an instant or sorcery with the same name, and then if you have a card with the same name, it adds a counter. Once it hits 2 counters, it copies your instants and sorceries. So you're really rewarded for playing 4-ubs like Consider, Preordain, and Serum Visions to fill up your graveyard quickly, but also find other cards. Eventually, we play Desperate Ritual and Strike It Rich to make mana. And then we cast Lightning Bolt. And then we cast Lightning Bolt and we cast Lightning Bolt. Maybe throw in a Fire Ice somewhere in there. But eventually we just deal our opponent a lot of damage with burn spells. So we're an Izzet combo deck that draws cards and deals damage. We're naturally decent against a card like Orchid Bowmasters due to having Fire Ice in our deck. We still have some Veil of Summers in the sideboard for discard, but one of the nice things about this deck, I should say, is that when you're drawing a lot of cards in the current Modern format, Orchid Bowmasters is a real concern. And the Twiddle One Ring deck, I think, is actually a little bit flawed in that way. Well, not in this deck. We get to do the same fundamental thing of being a slightly slower combo deck, but being immune to a lot of the hate. And I think that's a real shining spot for Pyromancer Ascension in the current format. So without any further ado, I'm going to hop on into match number 1. I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first round. We are on the play. This seems like a reasonable hand. We'll keep. Let's play some Magic the Gathering. We're going to lead on Polluted Delta and then search out probably Steam Vents because we have 2 cards in our hand that scry and we don't want to mess up the scries by shuffling later. So we're going to draw a random card here with Serum Visions, and let's keep both of these. So that will give us the second card for when we find Pyromancer Ascension. Our opponent leads on Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth. Not a card you see too often in Modern. Alright, so I'm going to play the Island here, and then let's play Preordain looking for that Ascension. I think I'm going to keep both of these, and then we'll play the next Serum Vision. So now I draw the second copy of Manamorphose. Get rid of the Strike It Rich, and I think I'm going to keep the Consider. We'll pass the turn after that. Our opponent plays a basic Swamp and passes. Interesting. I'm going to cast the Consider, once again looking for that Ascension. In comes the Bowmaster. With that trigger on the stack, I'm going to Lightning Bolt it. So we'll take 1, and they create an Orc army. I'm going to mill the Consider, play the Canal, and I think I'm actually going to burn the Serum Visions here. Like, we just need to find it. Double Expressive Iteration. I'll keep these. Cabal Coffers. So next turn, this will start generating mana. We'll take 1. 15. I am going to play the Polluted Delta, but I'm going to end up tapping it for a black here. And then we'll tap for a red, and I'll cast Manamorphose. We'll do red-blue. Draw the other iteration, and then cast this one. I'm just trying to preserve having multiple or duplicate cards to trigger the Pyromancer Ascension if we can find it. Here it is. So we'll put this iteration to our hand, the Spirebuff Canal on the bottom, and then we can cast Pyromancer Ascension. Tap for a blue, tap for a red, play the Ascension, pass. I believe next turn we can start having some fun. Field of Ruin. Karn the Great Creator. So this can go get a Tormod's Crypt. That's really unfortunate for us. They grab an Engineered Explosive, so they're going to give me a turn. Interesting. It also implies that they have another color in their deck. Okay, I go to 14. Time to party. Preordain, so that will trigger the Ascension. I'm going to take 2 life here down to 12. Tap this for a blue, cast the Preordain. This will trigger, will auto-yield. I always say yes. We're going to bottom both of these lands. We draw another Manamorphose, I love that. So I am now going to use the Expressive Iteration to create the second trigger. If we're going to win this turn, we want mana, and Manamorphose copying is pretty good for that. Okay, so we will put Ascension to our hand, Spirebluff on the bottom, and then we can cast Striker Rich. So now I will... Whoops, I didn't mean to shuffle. That was a misclick. My bad. I will cast the Manamorphose, and this will copy, so we'll gain 4 mana. So we're going to copy Manamorphose. We'll do red, red, and then the second one blue, blue. Desperate Ritual was a lovely find. And now I can play another copy of Pyromancer Ascension. Let's cast Strike It Rich. This puts a counter on the... Oh no, it doesn't. We have to cast this Strike It Rich in order to do so. Alright, so now both of the... Did it not... Am I crazy? I guess it got its first counter? Okay. Maybe I misunderstood the situation there. I could have swore we already had one in the graveyard, but oh well. Oh, they don't make mana. There's a Karn the Great Creator. That's right. My bad. First time playing Magic, please forgive me. We'll cast Preordain. So now this other one is getting its second counter, and now every spell will copy twice. So we'll have 3 resolutions on every card. Put that on the bottom. Another Preordain. I love both of these. We'll keep both. Cast the Manamorphose. All the triggers happen. We'll do red, red, blue, blue, red, blue. Let's Lightning Bolt them. And this one can kill Karn the Great Piece of Trash. And then this one will target them. And now all my treasures work. Cast Preordain. Storming off without a storm spell. I love it. Alright, Preordain happens. We can keep both. Well, I'll keep the Consider. I was going to bottom both, but just moving quickly here. It's really easy to time out when you're having fun. We'll keep the extra Pyromancer Ascension because, well, I'm a degenerate. Alright, Fire Ice is cool. I don't think I want Serum Visions. Let's play the Ascension. Cast Manamorphose. This will put 1 counter on the new one. We'll make red, red, blue, 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 red. Expressive Iteration. This should see most of the rest of my deck. Okay. So this copy happens. We'll put Fire Ice to hand, land on the bottom. Izzet Charm and Exile. We'll put Lightning Bolt to hand, Wooded Foothills on the bottom, Strike It Rich to exile, Expressive Iteration. We'll put Fire Ice to hand, Steam Vents on the bottom, Desperate Ritual to exile. Copy Desperate Ritual, make roughly 1 million red mana. Love this. Match 1, Game 1, getting to do the thing, it's perfect. Yes, I want to copy my spells. Like, what do you think I'm here for? To not copy my spells? Okay, so all my spells now copy a lot. Let's target them with a Lightning Bolt. So I'm down to 17 minutes on clock. I mentioned this just a couple minutes ago, I feel like. It's really easy to time out when you're copying all your spells, so you have to play fairly quickly. And our opponent decided that they've seen enough. Let's bring in Veil of Summer. We're facing a black deck that's pretty reliant on Urborg. So I don't hate Blood Moon, but you're not really allowed to bring in Blood Moon and Veil of Summer. I feel like that's kind of a nombo. So Spell Pierce can come in. This is sort of a weird boarding choice. I brought this over from the donation deck I had roughly a year ago. 2 Swan Song, 2 Spell Pierce in your Pyromancer Ascension deck. I don't know if I have strong opinions on that, but Swan Song does counter Leyline Binding, which I thought was pretty important. Spell Pierce can, but often doesn't because, you know, the whole pay 2 thing. So, I think I also want Aria of Flame in this matchup. A lot of cards coming in. I think that maybe speed isn't necessarily the most important thing here, so I'm going to take out Striker Rich and the Desperate Rituals. And that brings me down to 61. Trying to decide what the last card is going to be here. On the draw, I think I'm going to board out land number 18. Well, looky here. Look who didn't open up a land in their hand. I don't know why that would have happened. We'll take a mulligan. So, we have a land this time, but our entire hand costs 2. We'll go to 5. This seems reasonable. We will keep. It's pretty risky. I'm going to bottom the Veil of Summer because we don't have a green source and we're on the draw. And then the Fire Ice. Basic Swamp and they pass. No discard spell. We'll play the Spire Bluff, pass the turn. Urborg is back. Alright, I'm expecting an Orcish Bowmasters with our opponent not doing anything. I'm just going to play Pyromancer Ascension. No Bowmaster, okay. They play land number 3. Still nothing. Play the island and let's play Aria of Flame. They go up to 30. Demolition Field. The One Ring. Okay. So they have protection this turn. So we're just going to be trying to level up our Aria Flame. Another Expressive Iteration. Let's cast this one to start setting up. I guess I have to undo this. We'll undo our auto yields. I have to target myself this turn, apparently. We'll put the land to hand, bolt on the bottom, Preordain. And I have to target myself again, so I'm going to take 2 here. We'll keep the Preordain for next turn. Play my land. Pass. They activate the One Ring. Another Demolition Field. They cast a Thoughtseize. That's a little bit annoying because I had 2 spells to trigger the Ascension, and that's not going to happen now. 4 mana. Chalice of the Void on 2. So this does not stop me from casting spells. I would like to say that. We can still cast spells even if they're countered. So let's cast Expressive Iteration, which will deal our opponent 3, and I get a counter on the Ascension. We can yield to the Chalice of the Void. Always yes, auto yield, save targets, auto yield. So they take some damage here. And then I'm going to Serum Visions, because if I draw a land, it's okay, but I also get to deal damage with the Aria. We draw a Bolt. We'll bottom both of these. I don't really want another Aria Flame either. And then I can hold the Lightning Bolt. I don't need to cast it right now. Our opponent will lose 2 life to the One Ring. They're down to 18. They activate to draw 3. Karn the Great Creator. Okay. They minus the Karn. They grab a copy of the Stone Brain with their Chalice of the Void for 2 in play. I love it. They play an Urborg. Come on, please cast the Stone Brain. Live up to the Chalice of the Void player hype. Come on. No, they thought better. Our opponent's a smart person. Okay, so we will Lightning Bolt them, and they'll take 8 damage off that Lightning Bolt. They discard a Leyline of the Void. So this should add a second counter onto our Pyromancer Ascension, which means that it's now active. And this Manamorphose will now copy. It's also going to kill our opponent, but it will also copy. So we will get a copy here. Red, blue. And then they die. Boom! Ascension 2 strong in the year 2023. I will see you in round number 2. Don't go anywhere. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. We are back for match number 2, and I have fixed the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. We are, in fact, playing Modern and not Legacy. I will keep this hand. It looks pretty good. Inspiring Vantage. Monastery Swiftspear. We're facing Burn. The last time I played this deck roughly a year ago, we beat Burn in the pseudo Burn Mirror. Ooh, a second copy of Ascension. Let's play the Spire Bluff. And I'm just going to remove the Monastery Swift Spear now. They play a Fiery Islet and pass the turn. We draw Ascension number 3. I would have liked a couple different draw steps here, but we need one in play. Our opponent has 4 cards in hand. They Boros Charm me, I go to 15. Another Swift Spear, and a Lightning Bolt. So I'll take 5 this turn down to 10 life. They have 2 cards. I'm going to cast Manamorphose. We'll make blue-red. And let's Expressive Iteration. I'll put Manamorphose to hand. Unfortunately, we can't cast any of these spells. Fire Ice can go on the bottom. Izzet Charm to exile. Play the Wooded Foothills. I might just be dead. We have to pass the turn. Drawing double Pyromancer Ascension was really bad. No blocks, I'll go to 9. Skull Crack, okay. So I'm going to end up at 5 here, and they have 2 cards. On their end step, we'll fetch. I go to 4. Grab a Steam Vents. Alright, it's this turn. I guess I might as well fetch to 1 life, because we have to win this turn no matter what. Okay, so let's start by casting Manamorphose. This will trigger the Ascension. And another Manamorphose would probably be my best draw. Red, blue. We draw a land. We're probably dead here. Serum Visions. So I can create the second trigger on Ascension now, but we have nothing to copy. So we will go to game number 2. Bummer. Okay, so what to do? I think that Izzet Charm might be a little bit clunky here, and I'm going to swap it with Spell Pierce. Aria Flame is a card you could board in. I just think that it requires a lot of work. Alright, I'm going to keep this, but my plan is to not draw any more lands. We'll play Spire Bluff Canal and Serum Visions. Put the land on the bottom, let's keep the iteration. They play a Tremont Sacred Foundry into Swift Spear. Unfortunately, we don't have any removal lined up. Play the island, and I will cast Strike It Rich. We'll pass the turn. Play with fire. Okay, I'll take 2. I will counterspell the Skewer the Critics. And then the Swift Spear will hit me to 3, and I go to 14 life. Land number 5. Don't love that. We found the Ascension. I'll put that to hand, Desperate Ritual on the bottom, and then Lightning Bolt we can cast this turn. I'm going to fetch the basic mountain. We go to 13. And I will kill the Monastery Swift Spear. Pass the turn. Land number 3, they have 4 cards. We're at 10. We're at 7. This puts me to 6. Pretty risky situation we're in. Play the Ascension. Expressive Iteration, this triggers. Iteration. I guess I'll keep Manamorphose. Fire Ice can go on the bottom and we'll cast Consider. I'm just dead if they have 2 burn spells. Put that to the graveyard. Alright, have 2 lands in your hand, please. They did not burn me on their end step. Land number 4? I'm at 2 or 4 life. Do you have a Boros Charm? They do. Exact Seize. Okay, so we lost. Bummer. We're now 1-1. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and Mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Let's bounce back in match number 3. We're on the play. This seems like a great hand. We need to find land number 2, but it's got a lot of positive things going on here. Our opponent's taking a mulligan to 5. We'll play Steam Vents, ouch, and cast Serum Visions. We find the 2 lands we want. I love that. We're going to put these both on top. Pass the turn. Alright, we're facing Tron. Traditionally not a great matchup for us. Play the Steam Vents and the Ascension. They cycle the Chromatic Sphere for a green. They play an Urza's Tower, and they're passing. We know that we're drawing a land, so I could keep open this Izzet Charm, or I could try to further you know, advance our own game plan. The Serum Visions is going to help me make that decision. Well, always yes, auto yield. I can also tap their tower in their upkeep. I think I'm going to bottom the Expressive Iteration here. It's just a tiny bit clunky. And I think we want the 4th land. In their upkeep, let's ice and tap the Urza's Tower. They had Tron. Mulligan to 5 opens it up. Too easy. Oblivion Stone. Okay. We need another card to trigger the Ascension here. Consider. I think we should start by fetching. Grab a basic. Play Preordain. This will not trigger it. We find the Serum Visions. Perfect. So we'll draw this. This will add the 2nd counter. I don't think I want the Expressive... I guess I could copy the Expressive Iteration. That's probably good enough. We will cast the Striker Rich, which copies. So we get an extra mana this way. And then we can play the Manamorphose. Red-blue. And then we'll do red-blue again. Another Fire Ice. Let's cast the Expressive Iteration. Love this. Double mana. That's perfect here. Expressive Iteration. Ascension to hand. Land on the bottom. Lightning Bolt. Let's cast the Ritual. This will copy and we'll have 6 red. Play the Ascension. Cast Strike It Rich. This will copy and add a counter. And then we can flashback Strike It Rich for the other counter on Ascension. So now they're both active. Alright, we have no mana floating, but we have 5 treasures. I'm going to consider this will copy twice. Do I want the Ritual? It's gonna... Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do, actually. Because then I can flashback the other Striker Rich to convert it into blue. Bottom the land. Bottom the land. Or put it to the graveyard, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we will cast Desperate Ritual and create 9 red mana. 9 red. Let's bolt them 3 times. So they go to 11. And then Fire Ice actually just kills our opponent. With all these triggers on the stack, it's going to make me click all of them. Oh, because I auto-yielded, it's not going to let me respond. Now I can respond and show our opponent that they're dead. Sweet. And our opponent has conceded the game. Take that, Tron. Blood Moon definitely coming in here. I also like Spell Pierce. So that's 65. I feel like Izzet Charm is just a tag clunky, so we can take that out. I like Strike It Rich and Desperate Ritual because they allow us to accelerate into the Blood Moon. Maybe I don't want the Spell Pierce. Maybe Spell Pierce is a trap. We'll take that out. And then on the draw, we can get rid of the basic mountain. Let's try this. Like, I think if you're holding open Spell Pierce versus the deck that's just making 12 mana or whatever, it's going to end up feeling kind of embarrassing. I also, like, now that I've sideboarded, I wonder if you're supposed to bring in Aria of Flame because it doesn't use the graveyard versus a deck that plays a bunch of Relic of Progenitus. It's just I'm afraid of, like, having a ton of permanents versus the Oblivion Stone deck. We'll keep Urza's Tower, Expedition Map. We find the 2nd land, which allows me to play turn 2 Blood Moon. Power Plant. Unfortunate that they have the map, because now they can go get a basic forest. Play Blood Moon. Pass the turn. They grab a Beseiju who endures. They could already have the green source. There's the final Tron piece. Ooh. Alright, so they had it all this game. That's unfortunate. Play the Pyromancer Ascension. Pass the turn. Yep, Striker Rich is gone. They play another Chromatic Sphere. Ancient Stirrings. Finds Karn the Great Creator. I'm not going to Lightning Bolt, I just don't think it's worthwhile here. We will pass the turn. On our end step, they blow up the Blood Moon. We will search our deck for a basic, grab the island. They exile the Blood Moon. So they have 3 cards in hand, one of which is a Karn the Great Creator. I could Fire Ice twice here, tapping down 2 lands. I'll go to 13. I think I'm going to, but like it doesn't feel great. Tap the Urza's Tower. And then I will tap the Urza's Mine. This adds a counter to Pyromancer Ascension unless they sacrifice the relic. We'll exile the Scalding Tarn. Yes. We draw another Consider, that's perfect. So we should be able to turn Ascension into an active card next turn. They sacrifice the relic. They have 6 cards in their hand. That's a lot. I think my best draw is like a Manamorphose if we want to try to win on our turn. They play another Urza's Mine and they have 5 total mana. So that's a card in the Great Creator plus something that costs 1 or 0. They play an Expedition map. Do you have a second Beseiju? Reveals Urza's Tower. Whew. Okay, so I have a turn here. Alright, Manamorphose, I believe in you. They find a copy of the One Ring. Let's hold the Stomping Ground for now. Cast Consider. I think we might want to keep this. Cast Consider. Our Ascension is now active. Okay, we'll get rid of Serum Visions. I draw Preordain. Alright, Preordain, come on. We have 6 looks at something that makes mana here. Yes, copy. Both of these go on the bottom. It's a land. I think we might have missed our window. What to do, what to do. Bottom, bottom. Strike it rich. That was a perfect find. We'll play the Stomping Ground. Yes. And then cast the Strike it rich. Okay, so now we have an extra spell we can play here. I think I like Serum Visions a little bit more than Consider in this spot. So the first draw is random. And then, ooh, what a great first draw. I believe we just won. This is perfect. And let's keep both of these. We'll cast the Desperate Ritual first. Yes, I want to copy it. And then we'll cast Manamorphose. Okay, we'll make blue, blue. Blue, blue. Play the Consider. Yes. I think I'll take Expressive Iteration. There we go. I'll keep it this time. Get rid of the land. Another Manamorphose. I love that. Alright. Expressive being copied. Blood Moon to hand. Land on the bottom. Preordained to exile. Ascension to hand. Preordained to the bottom. Manamorphose and exile. We will play Ascension. And then cast Manamorphose. This will add a counter to the new one. Red, red. And our opponent just concedes. Nice. Take that, Tron. We are now 2-1 with 2 matches left to go. I will see you in the 4th round. Don't go anywhere. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4. On the draw, we're going to keep our 7. Our opponent's mulliganed, and they reveal a Gigantha. So the last time that I played this deck, a lot of people were like, you know, Bryant, you could play Gigantha in your deck. You don't play anything that's double costed. That's technically true. I just don't feel like this deck is... I'd rather have the 15th sideboard slot than... I'm sure somebody's already left a comment like, you know, you could play Gigantha. I just don't think that's something I want to do. Actually, you can't even play Gigantha when you're on Fire Ice, fun fact. It has double colorless mana in it. So there you go. You can't even play it. Serum Visions. Looking for land 2 and we find it. I kind of want this Lightning Bolt. I mean, we can leave it on top, but I'm likely to fetch it away. Zoo in the current year. I mean, I guess we're playing Pyromancer Ascension. Anything could happen. We go to 15. Overgrown Tomb. And another Wild Nicodle. Okay, so we're going to fetch here. And I'm going to get the Island. I feel like it's probably just a little bit better in this spot. And then we will play Pyromancer Ascension. Pass the turn. Next turn I can go Ritual, Ritual, Trigger Ascension, Fire, Fire, second counter on Ascension. Ooh, they turn their creatures into 3/3s. I don't like that. So we're going to take 6 here down to 8. Dromokas. They have a Dromokas command. I'm going to sacrifice my Ascension. Wow, what a blowout. I believe I just lost. Holy moly. Yeah, you got me good. Okay. Wow. So I played a lot of Standard with the Sphinx's Tutelage deck. And this card was the bane of my existence. So not happy to see that here. I hate that card so much. And I played a lot of the Tutelage deck. I think we want Blood Moon. Let's get rid of Izzet Charm. And maybe 1 Expressive Iteration. Let's try this. Game number 2, we're on the play. They reveal Gigantha again. We have a 4-lander. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm going to mulligan. This is better. We'll bottom 1 Blood Moon. Okay, so we're both on 6 cards here. I'm going to grab a Steam Vents. Cannot grab a basic island using Wooded Foothills. And I'll play the Serum Visions. We do not find land number 2. We'll bottom both cards. They use their copy of Wooded Foothills for a Steam Vents. Ragavan, I don't like that. Not one bit. We find another Blood Moon, play Preordain. We'll put both of these on top. Maybe I was supposed to take the polluted Delta in hindsight. Maybe I'll consider and take the Delta then. Yeah, that's probably the move here. Okay, we go to 15. They fetch. Okay, they're at 14 now. Yep. We need to draw some lightning bolts in fast. Striker Rich. I go to 14. Grab the basic island. Play a Blood Moon. We have the Stubborn Denial. Come on! No! We're just getting absolutely destroyed here. Domain Zoo, too powerful. So I'm going to take 6 down to 9 life. We reveal a basic mountain. Fetch down to 7. Grab an island. Play Blood Moon. They have another stub. Yikes. Preordain. They got me good. Wow, we were absolutely crushed 2 games in a row. So it looks like, I mean, this is just my guess so far, that if a deck is hyper fast, our Ascension deck isn't very good against it. We lost against Burn, we lost against Domain Zoo. That means maybe instead of the Izzet Charm, we want something like Gut Shot or something else to slow down these fast decks. So that's my assumption so far, but let's see how match number 5 goes. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The final match, we're on the draw and I will keep. Let's go. Turn 1 Breeding Pool. Delighted Halfling. Okay. We find a Lightning Bolt. I don't think I'm going to kill this Delighted Halfling. I'm just going to cast Serum Visions. We definitely don't want the Pyretic Ritual. And I don't really think I want the land either. They make a red for Renin 6. Okay. No fetch land. Ascension off the top rope. I do like that. Okay, let's play the Ascension. Let's start the party. Pass. Prismatic Ending. Not a fan. Not a fan one bit. In fact, I think that should be illegal. Our opponent misses their land drop. I'm more incentivized now to kill this Delighted Halfling. Okay, let's fetch. Grab a Steam Vents. Let's kill the Halfling. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna kill the Halfling. A little bit worried about this Renin 6. In their upkeep, we will ice the Triome. We find land number 4. Renin 6 gets up to 7. Or, I'm sorry, up to 6. Another Fire Ice. We will cast Expressive Iteration. Put the Fire Ice to hand. Canal on the bottom. Serum Visions and Exile. I will fetch. Grab the other Steam Vents. Serum Visions. Okay, I think we're supposed to bottom both of these. Play the Strike It Rich. And pass the turn. Up the Beanstalk. Okay. They find their 3rd land. They pick up the fetch. Now Renin 6 is on 7 counters. So if I don't cast Fire Ice on it this turn, they can start doing Prismatic Ending every turn. Expressive Iteration. We will play it. Preordain to hand, consider, and then Serum Visions. Play the Serum Visions. Ay. I mean, maybe I just let them have the Renin 6. Like, I feel like wasting 2 resources to deal this to is kind of a losing play. I guess I could bolt it. I'm just going to bottom. I'm not taking that line. Alright, we are struggling to find our next copy of Ascension. They do ultimate the Renin 6. They play another. Okay, they're at 14. They have 6 cards in hand. Is it Charm? We're going to just play our land and pass. I'm going to cycle some of these Fire Ices on their end step. They bolt me, I'm at 8. Ooh, I am very close to dead to that lightning bolt. Okay. They bolt me, I'm at 5. They bolt me, I am at 2. I will ice their Triome. They float a white. Yeah, I'm probably just dead here. Ritual. Ice their breeding pool. Brutal. I mean, I could have iced in their upkeep, but it wouldn't have actually made a difference this turn. Come on, no untapped red source. Hey. To Fairy Time Raveler. I don't actually care about that. That's fine. So we get a chance to win on our turn. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but we have the opportunity. Another Ascension. Let's play the first one. So, Ritual will trigger it once. So I could tap 2 mana here, play another Ascension, play Ritual, and then ice to draw a card. Or I could bolt to draw a card. I feel like playing the other Ascension is kind of a bad move. We'll play Desperate Ritual. This will create a trigger. Okay. And now I will Lightning Bolt them. This will add the second counter. And now I'm going to Izzet Charm to loot twice. Discard. I have a basic island in my deck. I guess I'll discard this other Izzet Charm. It is card negative. We drew the island. Alright, so we're all in on this Fire Ice, drawing into a couple insane cards. We will tap Renin 6. We will then tap to Fairy Time Raveler. Alright, we need like a Manamorphose here. We've seen 0 of them this game. That's a land? That's not going to do it. Bummer. We saw over 50% of our deck, no Manamorphose. And we saw a lot of lands. This is land number 8, and I discarded a couple as well. So we saw over 50% of our lands there. Unfortunate. We did not get the job done. Definitely a matchup where I want Blood Moon. I also value Spell Pierce and Swan Song pretty high here. We'll get rid of Strike It Rich. I don't think this is a matchup where acceleration matters. Same thing with this Desperate Ritual. And I think I want the Echoing Truth. I'm not confident in that decision. It could also be like a 1 of Veil of Summer. That might actually be better. Let's try the 1 of Veil of Summer. I don't know if they're actually like on a lot of blue cards or not, or even counter spells. We'll try it. Keep. Our opponent heavily weighing their options on this mulligan to 5. One thing I've noticed recording this video is I've adjusted my microphone settings recently so there's less audio clipping, but it's definitely picking up like every single little background noise now. The noise gate is ultra low, but once again, background noise. My wife is in the kitchen downstairs on the opposite side of the house, and I definitely just picked up a little bit of a noise she made, like putting away pans or something. Alright, consider. I don't think we want this Expressive Iteration. Play tapped, Stomping Ground, and pass. I don't want to signal Veil of Summer, but they're also not very likely to play something that I'd want to Veil right now anyway. Another Spire Bluff Canal. Okay, so you might say that I'm punished for playing this on turn 3. Either way, I was likely playing a land on turn 4 tapped anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. I could cycle this Manamorphose at some point if I feel like I'm really far behind. You can have a Delighted Halfling. I mean, it means that Teferi would be uncounterable. I think I'll kill it. Another land. We are definitely flooding a little bit. They play a land, we draw, Expressive Iteration. I'm going to play the mountain first, so that way I can have 3 available options open. I would get punished if I didn't find any spells off this if it was a bunch of lands, but if it was a bunch of lands, I don't care anyway. Bottom both of these. We should try to not shuffle moving forward. They search out a Sacred Foundry. Hallowed Fountain. The One Ring. Well, that can eat a Spell Pierce. Sweet. Okay, we will pass. In their upkeep, I will ice a Regrin Triome. Ascension was a very good draw. Actually, let's hold the Fire Eyes. It could trigger our Ascension. Up the Beanstalk is fine. Basic Plains, I don't like that. Not even a little bit. I was hoping to find a Blood Moon, so that way I could protect this Ascension, and now Blood Moon isn't going to do that. Blue-red, we'll go to our turn. So this could get another basic for a possible Blood Moon later. Looks like our opponent's on 70. I have seen some 70 card Bean decks on this channel previously. We'll play Ascension. And I'm just going to pass. I'm not going to jam spells into it because I think it's going to get removed. Rend and 6. They search, or they pick up a Flooded Strand. They play it. Leyline Binding. I cannot counter this because they have 4 available mana. Ooh, if I had the Echoing Truth in the deck... Okay, so if there's a game 3, I'm supposed to have Echoing Truth in the deck, in hindsight. Let's take a draw. Swan Song right on time, perfect hit. I'm sure somebody in the comments will be like, well, you should have cycled trying to draw it. We will pass. They search out a Temple Garden. 5 mana for a Hardcast Fury. It does cantrip for them, so it feels pretty free. I will Lightning Bolt it. We find Preordain. I'm going to just sit on... I know that there's a bunch of lands on the bottom of my deck. We find another Ascension and an Izzet Charm. I think I'm going to play the Ascension. If they have another Leyline Binding, I have Swan Song. So that's my thought process here. I can protect the Ascension. And maybe at this point it would be best to try to hide the Blood Moon if I can. They pick up a Flooded Strand once again. Prismatic Ending. I will Swan Song. They get a bird. Celestial Purge. Wow. So they have a lot of things to remove permanents. And I can't... They have 4 available mana. Even if I had both of these available. Yikes. I don't know if I'm going to win this. I know that I don't want the Izzet Charm on top of the deck, so I'm going to fetch. Grab the island. I guess we play it. Ascension. Pass the turn. They're at 13. They plus the Wren up to 7, so I cannot let the Wren untap again. Or else they'll be able to Celestial Purge or Prismatic Ending every single turn. We'll go to 16 from the attack on the bird. On their end step. What's... Izzet Charm? Discard Veil of Summer. And the Spell Pierce. We'll cast the Consider, which will trigger the Ascension. Yes. Keep the Swan Song. No, I'm just going to bin it. If they have something, they have something, because they would cast it here if they had it. Alright, I will fetch and get the Breeding Pool out of the deck. Let's ice a Triome. So Ascension gets its second counter here. And now we'll cast Expressive Iteration. The only thing in our deck that makes mana anymore is Manamorphose, so winning this turn is going to be a little bit tough. Okay, so 2 copies of Expressive Iteration. They cast a Solitude to draw a card using up the Beanstalk, because this could draw them into a Leyline Binding. Flusterstorm. Ay. Believe we are losing this. They put all 4 on 1. So we're just going to not pay for that one. So this other Expressive Iteration needs to hit Manamorphose. And it did not. So I believe we're dead. Well, I guess I could kill both their creatures. Well, I'm actually not allowed to kill both their creatures. I have to hit the Wren and 6 at least once. And we'll kill the Solitude with the other one. Pass the turn. Have to hope that they don't draw into something. Omnath, Locus of Creation. So they draw a card here. They play a fetch land. They gain 4. They return a land. Nahiri, which can exile an enchantment. I can Izzet Charm this. And Pyromancer Ascension copies it, so it's countered unless they pay 4. So I have 1 Lightning Bolt left in my deck. And there's 1 Fire Ice, 2 Fire Ices, and 1 more Fire Ice. I can't... It's going to be very tough for me to beat 16 life. I don't know if I'm actually... I'd have to find the other Pyromancer. I might already be deterministically out of this game. We'll start on Serum Visions. Yes. So the first one, Expressive Iteration was good. Put the Preordain on top. Serum Visions. I don't want Blood Moon. That can go on the bottom. Let's play the Expressive Iteration. 8 minutes on the clock. The first Expressive Iteration. Bolt the hand. Canal on the bottom. Manamorphose. Serum Visions. I'm going to hide Blood Moon. I just don't want them to see it. So now let's cast Manamorphose. Yes. Yes. Red, red. Blue, blue. Let's play Serum Visions. 16 cards left in deck. We have one more Ascension in there. Bottom this. We'll keep the Manamorphose. Bottom the Blood Moon. We'll keep the Fire Ice on top. We'll play the Manamorphose. Yes. Yes. We'll make some red mana. Okay. So right here I have 6, 10, 14 damage. That's the rest of the burn in the deck. So that doesn't win the game. I'll Preordain. Preordain, we find the Ascension. Consider it can go on the bottom. Preordain. The Manamorphose is perfect here. That Preordain can go on the top. Manamorphose. Play the Ascension. Manamorphose. 6 minutes. Come on, click faster. Red, red. Yes. Blue, blue. 5 minutes on the clock. Serum Visions. Yes. Yes. Visions. Bottom. 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 Top. Play Preordain. Oh, the other one already had 2 counters. Did I just punt? We'll put these all on the bottom. Keep the land on top in case I need to use it. We'll bolt them 3 times. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to win game 3 fast enough. Maybe I need to board an Aria Flame in order to win fast enough. Yeah, I'm definitely going to time out. Fire them. I'm so nervous right now. And then Fire Ice again. So we have 3.5 minutes to win game number 3. This is miserable. Okay, so let's take the Veil of Summer out. Bring in a Desperate Ritual. Or maybe I need the Arias for 3 minutes. Get rid of the Izzet Charms. Too clunky. I need to be fast here. Alright, submit. So nervous. Keep. Basic Forest? Come on, you're killing me, Smalls. Fetch. Play Preordain. Bottom. Top. Pass. What? That's illegal. You're killing me. Fetch. Serum Visions. Pass the turn. They play a Misty Rainforest. Delighted Halfling. We'll play Steam Vents. Ouch. Blood Moon. They fetch in response. For their 3rd basic. Dovin's Veto. Land number 4. The One Ring. Yep. We find Ascension. Play Blood Moon. Player land. Pass. Chalice of the Void on 1. It's going to make winning more difficult. Ren and 6. And they remove my Blood Moon. They have 4 cards. Play Ascension. Serum Visions will trigger it. Auto yield. Pass the turn. They have 8 cards in hand. Alright, they had the Besage. I'm going to call it. I'm not going to be able to win in 2.5 minutes and find another Ascension. So we went 2-3, not the best record. I thought the deck list was actually pretty good. I didn't end up liking the Izzet Charms. They were better in theory than in practice. So I think that this deck needs some help in the early creature removal package. You could play like Fury, but Fury doesn't trigger Ascension, which I don't love. Another thought is like you could try Gut Shot, and I think Gut Shot's interesting because it also makes Ascension online faster. Just some things to consider. You could also try going down a land or 2 and playing 4 more cantrips. So go down to 16 lands, probably cut like the Stomping Ground. I'm not sure if I like that, but it's something you could do and play like 4 Sleight of Hands. The Spell Pierce Swansong split felt really awkward to me. I think you need just like 4 of a counter. If it's Swansong or Spell Pierce, that's up to you. But the 2-2 split, I just did not care for in our Ascension deck. But I'd probably play this again. I mean, the deck's super fun. I just didn't manage to get there today. So thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Have a great day. And as always, keep storming. See you next time. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and after you do that, click that join button. It contains all of our membership information, such as access to our members exclusive Discord, members exclusive videos, and the best perk in my opinion, you can watch all of our videos early, 1 to 2 weeks in advance. That way you're always up to date on the latest and greatest content.